with it so hard. I'm like, yo, Drake is the fucking best. Like,
wow.
You look so disappointed.
Wow. My mind is blown.
Yeah, and let me just also say that Harrison, if I had to build my top 5 of without the obvious shit, you know, like Biggie, Notorious B.I.G. is not in my top 5 anymore, and I'll get into that later.
I was gonna say, if there's a Michael Jackson of our generation, it is the Notorious B.I.G. without question.
Bro, are you serious?
Dead ass.
Why? Explain that.
Why?
Explain yourself. Like, Notorious B.I.G. would be our Michael Jackson and not Drake?
Yep. 1000%.
You're shitting me.
Drake wouldn't exist without him. No question about it. Drake would not exist.
Are you serious?
So serious.
Notorious B.I.G. would be like DMX right now at this point in his career.
Crazy. Bro. Yo, he still gets sampled on tracks, okay? With people. Yo, what was the last the last Notorious album where he was like where they had all the features on it that Diddy did, where it was like
remastered, I think. Forget what it was.
This shit
I actually, the crazy shit is I bought that.
The shit with Jay. The shit with Jay. Why am I forgetting the fucking the hook?
I have it.
Throw your hands in the sky.
I know it's gonna come to me. I'm looking through my iTunes right now. See, that's what I'm saying. So you don't have that problem with Drake. You know Drake shit to reference. You don't even know the Notorious B.I.G. Like this. We talking about 55 years ago of worth of rap. Biggie duets. You know what I'm saying? Like, fuck, what is it? I have it right here. Just give me a moment.
Yeah, but you know Tommy Two-Tone shit by lyrics. If I'm like, yo, what's that fucking never gonna give you up? Like, you're gonna sing the rest of that Rick Roll shit and stop fucking around. Stop playing.
I don't know what that is.
Shut up.
I'm gonna tell you, my favorite song is with Biggie is Fucking You Tonight with R. Kelly. To me, that's the illest shit. And then the shit with him and Faith. One More Chance.
Wow.
Like, those are my
okay.
And I know I like the other shit, but I'm like, that's my R&B, like that hybrid sound is my sound. You're the only rapper that I fuck with that's lyrical.
Sure.
On that sense. Like, I don't really listen to Eminem. I can't name 5 Eminem songs. I'm Slim Shady. Yes, I'm the real Shady. It's always the first shit that comes to my head.
Commercial.
And
yeah.
I just am being the God's honest truth. And you know, like, that's why I fuck with my boy Nate. Like, I like his melodies. He comes up with these weird melodies. Like, his lyrics are not, you know, what I would require, like what I would like to hear, but he freestyles a lot of shit. Like, he doesn't write it, so I respect it as at that point. When he writes, his writing gets crazy, but when he freestyles it, it's more about the melody. Your shit, I know the time and the effort you put into it.
Sure.
But as far as like music I hear like on the radio and commercial shit, Biggie, like, we gonna do this? I can give you. Don't get me wrong. He was in my top 5 as recent as like 2 years ago.
Okay.
But at some point, I had to let it go. Like, at some point, I was
really?
and I know we were talking about Drake. We'll get back to that. Hit us on Twitter at That's Harrison, at King Bo Christ. Remind us if we don't.
The song
give
with
me your top 5.
I can't. I don't even.
You can't give me top 5 rappers.
I don't living or dead, like dead
Just
or alive.
Overall, whatever influences you the most. Want me to start? I'll start. I'll give you my top 5 and we can argue about it. But I'd rather hear yours. I don't want to influence your picks.
Biggie number 1, hands down.
Number 1?
Number 1, hands down. Hands down, bro. I don't know what, like, Ready to Die is the best hip hop album of all time, period. Period. Bro, I don't even know how anyone can argue that. Like, if you're from the West Coast, you could pull that, like, yeah, Tupac shit on, like, whatever.
Fuck Tupac. Tupac isn't in my top 10. fuck out of here with that shit. I'm tired of that shit. And I'm out of Jameson. I'm definitely tired of that shit.
Oh my God.
Let me tell you.
Hey, we got more.
Tupac isn't in my top 10. Pac is not in my top 10. It's 2017. Those days are over. You know what I'm saying? We talk about the greats. This guy wants to hold on to Biggie. I'll give him that.
Bro,
As far as Pac,
you can't not. I'll tell you what, Pac had it with the Humpty dance, though.
that's what I'm saying. Like, he went to art school. We're going to talk about Drake was fucking bar mitzvah. Pac went to, he was a ballerina and some shit. I saw it.
Saying ballerinas can't live thug life?
That's going to be a good clip. But in all seriousness, my number one is Hove. Jay-Z.
Whoa.
Why that? Like, why that? Why? Why that?
I don't know if he makes my top 5.
You don't know if Hove makes your top 5?
I don't know if he makes my top 5.
Turn the fucking microphones off. We gotta talk about this.
Yo.
Are you serious?
All right. Reasonable Doubt is an unbelievable album. I don't know. I have some issues like with Hove over the years.
What are your issues? Because let me. I'm gonna tell you. When I first heard Reasonable Doubt, when did it come out? Like fucking 1997. I don't know what it was.
96. I feel
96. I didn't get it. It wasn't. I wasn't old enough to understand it. My Jay-Z. Oh wow, I can't even look at it on Apple Music anymore. I forgot he snatched all his shit off there. He's such a
Title.
I can't even look at it to fucking reference to argue his point. But what my Hove starts in like 2005, 2006, when he like contemplated retirement, and then I went
Black Album type shit.
It started the Black Album, and the Black Album would be like 4th on my list of shit that I like from him.
Yeah,
but
Blueprint.
Yeah, right. It started there, and then I went backwards when I was a little older, and I understood it, and that's what made him the great to me. And the fact that he's still alive, I have to put him at my number 1 because he can always progress. At some point, Big stopped progressing to me. Pac stopped progressing to me.
Big stopped progressing because he died.
I'm not holding that against him, but
he's 24 years old.
I get that, but at some point, his music has a ceiling. So with Hove, I know you should see his face right now. This is amazing, but
like, dude, Hove was on that song. Throw your hands in the sky. Shit. Hove was on that song with Biggie. If you could listen through to that song and tell me, and I'm talking, Hove laid his verse on that shit 20 years later. If you could tell me Hove's verse is hotter than Biggie's, like, okay, I'll shoot myself.
See, that's what I'm saying. Like,
face.
I'm a realistic guy. I know that every Hove verse is not going to be the best ever. Like, I you know what I'm saying? I can't recall. I have to listen to it again.
I have issues with Hove that are like, okay, Reasonable Doubt is an amazing album. If every album after that was if he kept up that creativity and that craftsmanship and that attention to detail and everything he did after that, he would probably be number 1 in my mind. My issue is, like, he got on that, like, you know, Superfly. Oh, I don't need Dame Dash. I don't need anybody. Like, I'm the fucking. Sure. But like, yo, there's a lot to be said. Look, like, for the people that know, like, the real story, not to like get into the whole fucking thing, but like, yo, there's a lot to be said for loyalty. So like, regardless,
okay, I'll give you that.
Regardless, like Dame Dash, Jay-Z wouldn't exist without Dame Dash. Period. So
I'll give you that. There's an aspect to it where people forget that there still has to be business done. Whatever your rap skills are, there still has to be business done. And I think, you know, obviously Dame Dash brought that to the front. Sure, Jay-Z had his own money, but record label still told him no. He had a bright idea to do it. He didn't do it himself. So, you know, he needed that other counterpart. So it worked in that point. So,
right.
I will say there's a point to he couldn't have done it without Dame Dash. Without Dame Dash, I don't know what his career would have been. We could guess forever.
Right. There's that, but also like at a certain point after, like, you know, he was a little bit more established. It was like, you know, he came out on this shit that was like biting Biggie's whole deal where like, you know, Biggie never wrote anything down. Like Biggie would just sit there, vibe for 20 minutes, get in the booth and lay his whole
take.
shit down.
One take.
Then Hov was like, yeah, you know what? I don't write anything. You know what? He wrote every song on Reasonable Doubt. And guess what? Like on all the songs where he didn't write, it sounds like he didn't write. Like
So
you don't have to tell me which ones you didn't write.
You
bro.
have a good ear for shit like that. I don't really. It takes me a couple listens, and I'm a thorough listener in the sense that I'll listen to your album straight through, intro to outro, 2 times, and then listen to my favorite songs before I make an opinion on it. So, and then after that, and after knowing your body of work, I feel like I could tell what they listen to. But you have a better ear in that sense that you know, I've been with you and you're like, he didn't write that. I'm like, why? Of course he did it. Why wouldn't he write that? And then, you know, years later, this shit comes out and I'm like, oh shit, he was right. You know what I'm saying? He didn't write that. So you have a better sense to that. But for me, I couldn't really tell